Hello. Is my audio working? Audio input capture. Okay, that part is working. Um, okay, Midnight Suns is a 2K game, so I have to launch the 2K sub launcher to play this video game that I bought on Steam because something that doesn't make a lot of sense. Arudnell with the subscription for 11 months, the most subscribed that person could be to this channel if they weren't me, the person who runs the channel, because I get a subscription to my own channel for free, which I think is mostly so that I can use the emotes. But thank you very much for your stalwart support. Very glad to have you here. And now the game is actually loading, so let's see. This game could be... this might not work super well on my computer, is what I'm going to say. I have seen some complaints about performance, and I'm guessing that relates to optimization. And this computer is not brand new. It is from 2020, and it was pretty beefy in 2020, but it's been a couple of years, and maybe this game is not perfectly optimized, so we'll see. I may have to drop some settings down a little bit, or it could be because I think my internet is once again struggling. Since moving in here to this house that we rent, we've had to have Comcast come out to fix our internet at least twice, possibly 3 times at this point. And at least one of those times, it was because squirrels had chewed through the wires on a connection that is up on a pole in the kind of between the backyards of a few houses, including ours. So we'll see. This game might be a little choppy. I may have to poke at some settings. All right, now we can go over here. And now I'm getting the special thing from the subscription. So think again, are we getting game audio? I don't feel like we're getting game audio. Ah, here we are. It's a little loud. It's gonna go. This isn't the MCU, but we have MCU epic music. Okay, let's take a look at options. Sound. Bring it down a bit, thank you. Graphics. What if we go down to high instead of epic? Auto detect. Are you gonna say epic? Okay, I'm gonna say, let's say high for now, in case it's me. It's me, hi. I'm the problem, it's me, says my computer. Windowed full screen, resolution, resolution scaling. I honestly don't know what this means, so we're just going to leave it off. Resolution scaling. I know DLSS is for like super fanciness. I don't know that I have the computer to do DLSS. All right, I think this is all fine. So let's go back. And we'll do a new game. So I think there's going to be like cutscenes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the game audio down a fair bit. So it's a little loud for me, but it shouldn't be bad for y'all. We'll see how much it loops. So I was at PAX Unplugged. PAX Unplugged is the third, either the third or fourth PAX convention, because there's Penny Arcade Expo, and then there's PAX West, which is in Seattle, I think, and I think there's PAX South, which is in Australia. But PAX Unplugged was a spin-off from PAX West or whatever, focusing on non-digital games. So board games, card games, miniatures games, tabletop role-playing games. And, okay, this is loud enough that I am just going to go into sound and bring this down by a lot. Yeah, so I think I will leave the graphics settings for now and then maybe go into it later. But thank you very much for the breakdown, Aridno. And hello, QCG Aaron. I've been hearing good things about this game, so I'm excited. I know that folks were talking about it in the QCG Discord, and I am hoping to enjoy this as well. The review I read, the first full review of this I read, said if you like the idea of basically Marvel's Fire Emblem Three Houses, then you'll like this game. And I said, yes, I would like that game because I like tactics games, I like deck builders, and I like Marvel. Especially because we're getting into some more obscure Marvel stuff. And I'm not the biggest Marvel superfan in the world. Like, I know plenty of people who've read a ton more Marvel than I have, but I have read a lot of Marvel comics. And so I'm excited about that. Back to PAX real quick. Because I do speculate, and Greg and I and Brandon, yeah, I think I will leave off the resolution scaling, at least for now, until I have a... If we get into the game and it's running like smooth like butter, then maybe I'll go back in and see if I can get a little bit more juice out of the system. So PAX Unplugged, first big con that I've been to since the beginning of the pandemic, because I ended up not going to Origins and not going to Gen Con this year and didn't do in-person cons at all last year. And there nearly were no in-person cons in 2020 post like mid-March. There were some, but I did not go to them. So it was a lot of people, absolutely the most people I've been in a room with inside, like actually fully enclosed. Like I go to grocery stores and there's a lot of people in grocery stores sometimes. But this event was 100% required to show a full vaccination card, 100% required to mask in all convention spaces. It was a lot to get used to. I feel like people were mostly pretty good at masking, and what I mean by that, it was like, I would say 95% of people I saw were masking properly. It was a little bit less good on Saturday than on Friday, but that was like 90% of people were masking properly versus 95. So I sure hope that I or other people that I was there with are not going to get COVID or the flu or RSV or whatever. But I already did the thing, so I can't take it back. I think if I could tell past me what it was like, I probably still would have gone. But the big downside about PAX Unplugged that I found is that it's really a read pop show. It is more like New York Comic Con than it is like Origins or Gen Con, because there are not enough listed TTRPG events. Every morning at 8 a.m., the RPG events open for registration. And 5 minutes in, every single TTRPG session that was listed for the day was full. And the D&D ones filled faster than that, and there were only a very small number of things that weren't D&D. A group called Gehenna Gaming, which mostly focuses on horror RPGs, was running a bunch of stuff there, so they had games of Vampire and Vaesen and Alien and Blades in the Dark and some other things. I ended up not doing any TTRPG sessions because the times for the ones that I would have wanted to do overlapped with the panels that I did want to attend. And there were some great panels. I went to the queer representation in TTRPGs panel that was really good. And I went to the Dungeon Dudes panel on creating content for D&D 5th edition. The Dungeon Dudes panel was basically for a half an hour, they talked about their journey as RPG, like as 5e creators, and like doing their podcast and their YouTube, and then a bunch of Q&A, which was great. Like being creators who have achieved some substantial success, kind of giving their time in a public forum to kind of helping people who have pressing questions for the stuff that they're doing. That's very cool. I dig that, and I definitely came away from that panel with a like more appreciation for the Dungeon Dudes as creators, because I felt like they did a good job of using that time in a like a generous and productive fashion, and using that platform well. So good job to them. The queer representation and TTRPGs panel was amazing. And so I came away from that with a number of new people to follow and shows to check out, which is exciting, but also rough because watching other channels actual play is a lot of work. If we look at the broad spectrum of what hobbies are, if an average session of a TTRPG is between 2 and 4 hours, if I want to watch one episode of 3 different shows that some team has done, I'm signing up for between 6 and 12 hours of material that I'm engaging with. And actual play has a lot of advantages, but for me, even in video and audio, I can sometimes have difficulty getting past the initial hump of, I don't know these people, I don't know how they play. There's some amount of like introductory rigmarole that people are doing. And like all of that is very understandable and sensible and totally fine. It just can mean that it takes me a while to get all the way into a team that is new to me's material, so that I have a clear sense of who they are, what they do, and whether the way that they play and do their shows is something that I'm interested in watching or listening to more of as a fan, above and beyond or alongside as a creator in that space. So I did really like the panels. There were, I'd say, 2 to 3 panels at any given time. So not a huge range of like a programming track. And it did have the downside where you basically wanted to line up 15 to 30 minutes ahead of a panel, because these are in like big Comic-Con, like some of them, like the Dungeon Dudes thing was like literally in a ballroom. And so if I go to a panel at 10, I would need to go to that panel at 9:30 to 9:45 to get in line. And then I would watch the panel and then go from that to probably the next getting in line thing. And this is just the way that Read Pop Cons are. Read Pop Cons do not operate like Origins or Gen Con or the Nebulas or something like that. And they're even different than some other Comic Cons. And that's fine. Each model has its own upsides and downsides. But because of the way that things were arranged, I found that my schedule had enough conflicts and overlaps in it that I got to do the panels and I got to walk the show floor, which is about buying things. And that was about it. There were very cool publishers and designers on the show floor, fun new stuff. I played a really interesting new expandable card game called Fable's End, which is coming to Kickstarter, with like the primary designer giving me a demo. It felt like that game had learned some very cool lessons from some of my favorite collectible card games, or card games like Netrunner and things like that. So that was definitely an upside. It was very fun to get to meet in person some designers who I've been following online, meet some people who also do other actual play shows. There was a Start Playing Games GM happy hour, where, kind of people who are running games on Start Playing meet up. So I got to meet some other GMs. I met a cool GM who is also like an online leftist folk sort. And so we got along very well, understandably, or I guess we got along well instead of the other thing, which is magnifying small differences in leftist political and or practical philosophy that becomes a headache. We didn't do that thing. We did the other thing of getting along very well, and so that was very nice. And so I come away from that with somebody that I can, keep in touch with and chat with on Discord, and just meeting people is cool. I don't know as many people in the TTRPG and broader games world as I do people in the book world, and specifically the science fiction fantasy world. So getting to meet people at these cons is very meaningful for me, but it also means that those cons are a lot more draining because I don't have a baseline of like a friend network to fall back on for like, what's my plan for dinner? Who am I going to hang out with in the evening, and any of that kind of stuff. And that's exacerbated by the fact that we're still in a pandemic. And so I was not excited about like spending several hours in a bar in the evening, having already eaten inside somewhere because it was too cold to eat outside unless there was really good heating. And I did not see any restaurants in the area with really good heating. So I did the convention, and then I went back to my hotel each night. And so that was, a little suboptimal. One of a number of concessions made to feel comfortable going to a very big convention. I think at this point, the next convention I would likely go to in person would probably be either Balticon or the Nebula Conference, depending on what format they're taking and what their COVID protocols look like and where COVID is, in March of next year, in terms of how bad was this winter. Are there new variants that are making things worse? Is the bivalent booster no longer holding up in the way that it was? And if I get COVID from having to this convention, I will become drastically less likely to go to any other larger cons for quite some time because of all the science that we've seen that says every time you get COVID, you're like the chances of long COVID or kind of longer term health damage increase in a really bad way. I don't know if it's like I don't know that it's necessarily logarithmic or exponential, but it's not good. If I come away from this and don't get sick, then maybe doing one or two big conventions in 2023, maybe more if things have gotten a lot better. So I did get stuff. I got to buy things. So I bought Light Beacon Edition by Gila RPGs / Spencer Campbell. This is kind of a second edition of a TTRPG, very strongly inspired by the video game Destiny. So folks who watched the Speculate fundraiser marathon will know some of my thoughts about Destiny. So I think this could be really fun to play, to maybe, if we could play this for Speculate with Brandon and Greg, and then do some like talking about / comparison to, how does this game emulate what is fun about Destiny? Like subsequent infections make it more likely that you will get reinfected, at least in some of these, with some of the newer versions. So very bad. I bought a bundle of small RPGs or like zines, mostly by Charlie Ferguson Avery. So check out some of this stuff like They Cried Monster, which is a special like zine supplement for 5e, and As the Gods Demand, which is like a different way of doing divinity and gods in 5e, and then The Vast in the Dark, which is, quote, a zine about exploring dark and alien megastructures of an infinite realm, which looks very cool. And then I got a few other things from that same designer / team. And then I bought some things in paperback / hardcover that I had previously owned digitally. I got Wander Home by Jay Dragon, which is this absolutely gorgeous book that's kind of pastoral, less violent slash non-violent slash anti-violent fantasy RPG. I got Hunter the Reckoning 5th edition. There have not been 5 editions of Hunter. It's just called 5th edition because it's using the same system as Vampire 5th edition, which has had 5 editions because RPGs are very confusing. And Vampire has passed through, I think, 3 or 4 publishers at this point. It might only be 3. And one of them, I think, it went very poorly, and so the license got pulled or transferred. I don't actually remember that part of Vampire history because I wasn't really paying attention. But Hunter is a bit more my jam. I'm very curious about Werewolf 5th edition. There are some things that I hope that the new team addresses with regards to how that game handled some stuff in representation and indigeneity and disability in earlier editions. But we'll see. Let's see, what else did I get? I got Memory Hunter, Dream Hunter. I got 5 Vampire the Masquerade publishers. Thank you, Aaron. I'm not surprised that you know. So folks that don't already follow Queen's Court Games, you should know that if you like Vampire the Masquerade, the All Night Society is Queen Court Games. Would you call it your marquee series, flagship series? And that is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition campaign that you can check out in podcast form. And I think that is pretty much the PAX stuff. I'll, come back to it, but you have all been very patient in watching this title screen and the music loop several times. So let's go. Let's start with normal. I might go up to heroic because I've played a lot of tactics games. We have a Turbo Tango channel exclusive, so you are hearing it here first. QCG is remastering the first season for re-release. So that is very cool. I know there's the folks at Friends of the Table talk about wanting to remaster or redo some of their very first episodes of their Seasons of Hyron campaign, which was like their very, very first thing, because a couple of years into making shows, you figure out how to make the show better, but then the very first thing that you did is still the first thing that you did. And so much like if you're an author who writes basically one series your whole life or has one main series, you're a way better writer when you've written book 10 than you were at book 1, but book 1 is still the entry point for a lot of people. So something like that kind of remastered does make sense. I wish you all of the luck in the production work of that. Maybe it passed smoothly and quickly so as to not create headaches for you and I would imagine especially the folks who are taking point on production. Let's play the tutorial mission. We'll have pop-ups for now. Now we launch the campaign. So this is from Firaxis. Firaxis are the creators of the 2010s XCOM games, XCOM Enemy Unknown, XCOM Enemy Within, XCOM 2, and XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Enemy Within was a expansion for Enemy Unknown, and War of the Chosen was for XCOM 2. I really liked all of those. I did not play Enemy Within as much, though it did have mechs / cyborg mech bodies, and that was pretty cool. War of the Chosen was very cool because you got kind of campaign-long mini-boss rivals. There were 3 chosen kind of super aliens that each had their own kind of personality and their own writing and the types of things and ways that they would interfere with your team and kind of XCOM writ large. And that was really cool. But this is not XCOM, but Marvel. It's a bit different, and we'll find out how after this cutscene. So this is Crossbones, who is a villain. You might know Crossbones from the MCU. Midnight Suns is very specifically not MCU continuity. I'm going to raise the game audio a little bit because you may not be getting much. Let me know if the speech is too low.
Sleeping mother, sacred harbinger, awaken and reclaim what is yours. You who rise with the moon in darkness, who prepares the path for the midnight sun.
The comparison that I heard was XCOM plus Marvel meets Fire Emblem Three Houses, like a lot of relationship focus.
I'll just shoot you and save us all the trouble.
So was Faustus speaking in a language other than English, or is the animation not synced up? Well, that sounded like English, or that looked like English. Goodbye, Hydra Mystic. No longer will you do fascist magic. I do appreciate the trope of villains awaken scarier villain. Scarier villain is not grateful. So, Marvel Midnight Suns. Sometimes opening the arc is a bad idea, actually. Agreed. Very much this. So, Midnight Suns was a kind of dark fantasy, urban fantasy crossover in the 90s, but then it was Midnight Suns SONS. This is not exactly that storyline, but they've switched it to SUNS because it's not just going to be men.
Head back to your magic castle. You ain't welcome here.
It's called a sanctum. And welcome or not, this is where fate has determined the Sorcerer Supreme needs to be.
Loquacious, happy to talk about it. So this version of Doctor Strange that we're getting is supposed to be more like Vincent Pricey.
Dragged me 5,000 miles to meet.
Who's the mouth?
Mr. Stark is brash, but I assure you he can be trusted.
Wait, you seriously don't know who I am?
The fabric of magic is shifting, Johnny. The prophecy of the Midnight Sun is upon us.
Your last crusade cost me plenty. This time I intend to look after my own.
Hey pal, I don't think you understand. Things are changing. 2 + 2 no longer equals 4. Up is sometimes down, and Strange here is actually starting to make sense.
Uh-oh.
Do I look like someone who gives a damn about any of that?
No, you look like you should be bouncing for the double deuce. Listen, all I know is hell's coming, and my pal here says you can help.
That's where you're wrong. Hell's not coming. It's already here. You're welcome, Robo-Man.
Cool music stinger. There goes Johnny Blaze.
Iron Man?
He's not actually a player character. He's not actually a playable character in this game. Supposedly famous.
It's okay. It's fine. I know what he meant.
They should let you change the stuff on the cards so it just says Robo-Man all game. Alright, I am getting some chop here.
We come all the way out here, and the old man runs off with that precious page of yours. Could have at least left us some VIP passes for the carnival. Maybe blown up a few monsters on the way out.
Johnny Blaze has
I'm gonna let this go, and then I'm gonna read the tutorial stuff.
already. I am certain he will come around given time.
Thought you said time was the one thing we didn't have. All right, let's just wrap this up. I think I've got sand in my nanopolymer weave.
Folks watching, how is the character audio coming through? Is it? I have game audio pretty far down because I was talking about PAX stuff, and I want to make sure that y'all can hear the characters. And then especially, like, this will set the audio for the YouTube archive. So I'm going to read some tutorial text. There are 3 main types of cards, which represent hero abilities: attacks, skills, and heroics. Playing a card costs 1 card play. Select an ability card with left mouse button to activate it, then select a target with left mouse button to confirm the ability. Each turn you receive 3 card plays. Attack cards. Use attack cards to damage enemies and gain heroism. Heroism is a resource you need to use heroism cards. Attack cards damage enemies. All attacks grant 1 heroism when used. Some attacks have added effects like knockback or stun. What I've learned from like coverage is that knockback and moving people and things around on the battleground is a really important part of this game. So we have a blast, and then we can blast. Yeah, getting some chop here.
Hey, it worked, didn't it?
It is not smooth. Though, honestly, that's kind of how XCOM works too. So this may just be kind of how I expect Firaxis games to run. The game also did just only come out on the 2nd, so there may be some stability optimization patches in the next few days or week or 2. Heroic cards are powerful and decisive. Playing heroic cards requires heroism. Tip: gain heroism by playing attack and skill cards. So this takes 2 heroism. Nope. Back, please. Thank you. So this is a heroic card. I don't have to target it apparently because it just zaps everybody. Okay.
And still reigning world heavyweight champion, Iron Man.
Once you've played your cards, use X to finish your turn. So the thing with this is supposed to be that, oh, I guess I hold X. Yep. That enemy reinforcements kind of pour in every turn.
Things are moving right along.
There are 2 types of enemies:
Of evil and all that.
minions and elites. Minions have no health. Any damage defeats them instantly. They are frail but still dangerous. Elites have higher health totals and require more damage to defeat. Tip: use attack and heroic cards wisely. High damage cards may be wasted on minions.
That suit may be a marvel of technology, but it's no match for the mystic arts. Allow me to demonstrate.
Oh, so it's a contest now. Then you take the extra creepy one.
Gladly.
All right, so Winds of Watum is a knockback attack. Some cards have the knockback effect. After selecting a target, aim the knockback direction to view potential impact points. Confirm the direction with left mouse to push the enemy unit. Try knocking enemies into objects, heroes, or other enemies for extra damage. So, you are the one with hit points. Okay, 2 minions and 2 with hit points. So let's knock you into you,
Watch closely.
because any hit will take you out. And so that's half of the enemies off the board right away.
Intend to make this as miserable as possible for you.
I think you can chain enemies into one another, to Kids Are Asleep's question. So here is Blast. It will do 5 damage, so that's half of the health of this enemy. And then we now have 2 heroism, so I can use the Axe of Angarumus on this enemy, which will kill them. Okay. Magic Axe. Got it.
I'm skeptical of your chances, but stranger things have happened.
So there's 1 enemy left with 5 hit points. They will get to attack.
Efforts will never deter me.
But enemy reinforcements. Always funny to see magic users be melee. One thing I really liked about Elden Ring is in the sorcery set of powers, they had the carrion sword magic, which was like, I use magic to summon a sword that's the size of a whole person, and I swing it at someone. It is cooler and it felt more exciting and interesting than all of sorcery being like, hoo, 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 wah, I do magic at you. Like, this is something that I'm finding playing a warlock character in a D&D game. Because my attack is just I point a wand and I zap somebody, I don't get to do as much interesting description as if I were doing like melee combat. So I am taking some steps to address that. At the start of each turn, hero icons will appear above each enemy, showing who that enemy intends to attack. Use this information to determine which enemies to defeat first, or which heroes to defend.
Iron Man does whatever an Iron Man can.
In this case, Doctor Strange is in danger. See what you can do to assist him.
Now that I have their attention, perhaps a blessing is in order.
So I can use
Protective.
heads up from...
Give you a hand or a shield in
Oh,
this
that was
case.
Shadow
In the
pop in?
spirit of cooperation, I'll accept your offer. Just this once.
So I use skill and give 20 block. Skills provide powerful supplemental effects like healing, damage boosts, and drawing. Skills do not generally deal damage. Skills are a great way to build heroism for powerful attacks. They provide more heroism than attack cards. So we see this gives 2, and we're going to give that 20 shield. Yeah, giving the
Done me a great favor.
the decision to have the kind of hand stuff of magic draw direct inspiration from tutting, and to bring in a kind of prominent tutting expert to teach the performers so that when they were doing Ditko fingers it looked cool. Very good idea. All right, so let's throw you. Can I? Okay, cancel. Because these enemies I can knock into each other. 10, 10, you. So I'm going to knock you. Cancel. Can I knock you? Okay, I can knock you into... So I can't knock any of these enemies into one another unless I can move. Am I allowed to move? No, not yet. This is still tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to knock you into this rock.
Watch and learn, my friend.
Because it had like a yellow explosion box, yeah. So there we go. And then I can use
Trust me.
Winds of Watum on you, but it doesn't let me knock you into anything. So I'm going to use this here and knock you into that rock as well.
Of preparation.
So now that one is down to 5. So there's 3 enemies. That will be a lot of damage, except I have the shields. And I have 4 heroism for next turn. So this game has cards in it. It's not the same as Slay the Spire because you have multiple characters and you're managing cards across several characters and other stuff is different.
Multiple targets?
So
I think we pissed them off. Got a spell for that, maybe?
we have
Interesting spell to change the very demeanor of our enemies. Something along the lines of the
yeah, I think the positionality and knockback thing does make it feel more like fights in tight spaces.
Not interested.
So if I can get some more enemies down to 5 hit points, the air superiority might take them out. So you're at 5, you're at 10, you're at 5, and these are all at 10. So let's try to knock this enemy into that enemy.
Let's try this.
Because the more enemies that are at 5 hit points, the more I can take off the board entirely with air superiority. I do have blast, so I can attack one. Let's just hit you so that we're not getting flanked. Because now air superiority will take out all of the enemies on that side, so we're not going to get pincered in.
Shouldn't have pissed me off.
Okay. I guess that took out all of them. I thought they only did 5 damage. Many objects in the battlefield can be used to your advantage with environmental attacks. Environmental attacks cost heroism, but don't use a card play. These free attacks are very useful. Use them wisely to score important knockouts. Try using 1 or more rocks to wipe out extra enemies. Environmental objects will glow when they can be used to attack a nearby enemy.
Arrows. Maybe we should just try throwing a big rock at him?
Ta-da-da! Throw things. So, what if I came over here and I threw a rock at you?
Let's do it.
you know, my super suit gives me strength. And can you... It does not look like I can tell Doctor Strange to do this, right? Can you? No? Can you come over here? It looks like you can. Okay, so each of these characters can do that. Maybe he can do it at range because magic. All right. So looking at my OBS, I have dropped 29 frames since we started streaming. So it does look like the choppiness here is on the game side.
If I'm being honest, that encounter went better than I expected.
Tony, I've been noticing a recurring gamma spike.
You see, this is why you shouldn't eat spicy food, Bruce.
Localized in the West Village, converging on the Sanctum.
Wanda.
The collective works of the universe's greatest sorcerers, and he left them underneath the takeout menus.
Shifting mystical polarities are wreaking havoc on my portals.
You don't say. You okay, kid?
And again, this is not MCU Wanda.
Are you?
Let's, put a pin in that. Whoa.
Captain Marvel. With the iconic hair.
Carol.
Bruce and I have been trying to reach you. He'd have come himself, but he's...
Oh, you did the big green guy proud.
I really should up my homeowner's insurance.
So there's some good comedy in here, some good little quippy bits.
Steven, I can fight. I've got control now.
Then show me by activating
As if-
the
yeah.
wards.
There would need to be, they need to be insured
The
by
rest of you may feel free to smash
Comertage or something. That reminds me of Damage Control. There was a comic series about the kind of cleanup crew.
Nice one, Carol. Always the direct approach.
So
You know I don't mess around. Besides, we picked up some crazy gamma readings coming from, well, here.
So
Guessing that explains the
10,
hydro beams
10.
and ominous green lights.
minion,
Yes, but
minion,
not one failed to
minion.
use the front door.
Okay.
How about we discuss proper hero landing etiquette
Use
after
tab
we
to
take down the bad guys?
quickly switch between targets when a card is selected. So I can do this. So, and I'll knock you into you.
This won't end.
That's very satisfying.
I know that wasn't your signature move.
And let's see. So, Strange, Iron Man, Iron Man. Let's take you off the board.
What are the qualifications to be a Hydra officer?
Redraw. Use the redraw to replace undesirable cards in your hand. Highlight a card to redraw, then hold R to replace it with a new one. The new card is random, but it may be more immediately useful. Tip, the last card in your hand, Photon Beam, costs 3 heroism, but you only have 2. Try using redraw. This is scripted. So. Now we have Jab, which is just a straight up attack. Let's go after the one that is focusing on Doctor Strange, because I imagine he is squishier.
Seems like it'd be cheaper just to replace you guys with robots. I bet Tony would cut Faustus a deal.
So now we have 0 card plays and 0 redraws. The actuarial tables for superheroes are just a single large angry face emoji, says the kids are asleep. Very good. Yeah, we've got some abstraction going here.
More.
You must...
Begin.
Okay. More tutorial. Use move to reposition a hero and set up the perfect knockback angle, area of effect attack, or environmental attack. Instructions. Select any location on the ground with left mouse button to enter move mode. Select again at the desired location to confirm the move. Each turn you have 1 free move. The selected hero will execute the move. Tip, try moving a hero into position to kick the couch at the enemy units. Yes, please. Let's... No, I want tab to switch between heroes. Thank you. Yes, what I want is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is the person who is going to kick those couches. Kick this. That is my plan. All right, so if I do this, because I want to get that one with the knockback. Okay, now I can get these. Okay, that's, I wanted 3. I'll take what I guess that was 3 instead of 4. Up to 5 cards will be drawn to fill your hand. Consider which cards to play and which cards to redraw or keep for future turns. So the knockback environmental stuff, when I started seeing that, my interest went up notably, because that is something that is specific to this, feels superhero-y, and will help set it apart from XCOM. Because as so Luke something, the creative director on at Firaxis for Midnight Suns, Luke. Anyway, he was in a key position for the XCOM games as well. When they started doing this game, they just did XCOM but Marvel. They quickly abandoned it because Marvel superheroes mostly don't duck behind chest high cover. Marvel superheroes, when the thing that he said was, when Captain America throws his shield at an enemy, he doesn't miss. Like, when superheroes are being superheroes, they should get to be amazing. And so we're going to change what is difficult here. Instead of having miss percentages, they move to this card system. Instead of, having the different, kind of cooldown effect special attacks, you can pick things up and throw them. So I dig it. Draw the next 2 attacks played. Start next turn with 4 card plays. Punch, punch, punch. So you are both minions. Oh, okay. So I can't do that. There's 2 left. I wanted to knock back them into each other, but I can't do that. So instead, let's cancel and redraw this card. New plan, double your current heroism. Okay, well, let's use Agamotto's Gaze. And we will redraw the last 2 attacks that we made. But, well, actually, let's go ahead and take one of these enemies off the board. And then Carol will punch. That is more believable as what happens when Captain Marvel punches someone. Okay, and that's the turn. So I'm hoping that this is the last, super scripted fight, and that in the next fight we get a little bit more freedom and expressivity. Photon Beam. Use what you've learned to wipe out Hydra's forces in the Sanctum. So, Photon Beam. Damage each enemy in a line. So, I will want to move. So, what if Carol moved? Let's see. If I move here, I may be able to laser through all of them. Let's find out. Maybe able to laser all 3 of those guys. Photon Beam. Look, here we are. Very good.
Not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Sure, why not?
And
That was something.
punch.
Not a problem.
And it looks, I have one more card play. All right, let's redraw this just in case it's a better attack, I guess. No, knock back. I don't... Yeah, there's nothing to knock you back into. So instead, punching.
I'm on it. At least screen is iconic. If you're a low-rent mercenary, I mean.
And you're gonna do an attack. And then there's gonna be more enemies? Question mark? No.
Yeah, you're gonna need the help. We're three of the world's strongest heroes, right? Doesn't it seem like this should be easier?
So here we're getting some explanation. I believe these enemies are magically enhanced.
I have a terrible suspicion as to how.
So that one could say, be punched by Captain Marvel and not instantly be dead or out.
The wards. Something's blocking them.
Not something.
Someone. So here is our big bad.
Gozer?
Lilith, mother of demons.
She does have 2
harbinger of the
demon
midnight
dogs.
sun. Prophecy or not, you overstep. Challenging the Sorcerer Supreme.
Be silent.
So I think that is
Be
Wharf Effect, but magic. And so here we are, we're selling Lilith as a credible villain. She's so powerful that, at least right now, only
fellow daughter of
only Scarlet Witch is able to, like, kind of get her off her feet with an attack. But Doctor Strange has gotten his breath back, and they drive her away. And now Iron Man is the comic relief.
I'm fine. What? I'm fine.
It's fun.
Prophecy is in motion. Lilith is still out there growing stronger each second the midnight sun approaches.
Define stronger.
If we are to have any chance of stopping her, there is only one option left to us.
We must play a video game.
Go back there.
We all must eventually face our demons, Miss Maximoff. However, one of us should remain behind to maintain the wards of protection.
See you on the other side.
We decided not to make you a playable character in this video game. Though you may show up in a cutscene to help. Alright, so we have gotten a Steam achievement for completing the second tutorial fight. And now we are fighting the loading boss. So, how's the audio? Are things too loud when stuff is exploding? Are the characters, when they're speaking, a little soft? Happy to make a tweak. This is a good time to make it if we need to. Let's see, other things from PAX. What did I see? I saw some really cool, like, playing D&D in person accessories to help streamline play. It honestly made me want to play D&D in person because there were so many cool things to enhance that live experience. But a lot of them are physical reproductions of things that current VTTs already do, virtual tabletops. Stuff like Roll20 or Foundry or Fantasy Grounds or things like that. And then we have virtual tabletops like One More Multiverse and Alchemy that are even fancier versions of those. Alchemy had a whole booth where they were kind of promoting the platform and doing demos. I played a very short demo from Alchemy like a year or so ago. It seems interesting, but it feels like there's a lot of buy-in.
Fortunate to be here at all.
And where is here, exactly?
Salem, Massachusetts. Well, a pocket dimension in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, suburbs. Nice.
Welcome
See, I like that.
to the Abbey. Home of the
Midnight Sun.
The last line of defense against Lilith, according to them. Like, fun.
What the hell is this?
It's cheesy. Is it a little melodrama? Yes. I don't care. I love it. Give it to me.
Which one?
And now we have the heroes
Just take a moment.
misunderstanding fighting trope, but we don't actually get into the fight.
You're standing on my flowers.
Oh, been a long time, Sarah.
It's caretaker now.
If I could have avoided this moment, I would, but...
Oh, spare me the speech. I know Lilith's back. We're sisters after all.
Yeah,
Guess we're suddenly invisible now.
Shall we chat, Stephen?
the audio is desynced from the video for me.
No one can argue that the hunter earned their rest in the first battle against Lilith.
Yeah, I definitely know everything about that.
Once more.
You wizards always make everything sound so lofty. I raised my sister's only child as a weapon against her.
It's a little fucked up.
And saved the world in the process.
Now you want me to dig them up and ask them to do it again.
I
did
am.
not write the prophecy, Sarah. Besides, I am no common grave robber. We are simply reuniting their ethereal essence with their corporal form.
We decided to have a main
It
character.
would help to have a mental image for the procedure. Spare no detail. Spiritual identity theft is no laughing matter.
This is it. Absolutely, this is good necromancy. All right, so Matt Mercer does the voice of the kind of mask hunter, but let's do this one. So we have some options, but maybe probably not as elaborate a character creator or something like Elden Ring. So we can, like, these look like they are kind of mapped to some ethnicities. Let's let this hunter be a white lady. Yes, so we do in fact have an entirely new to the MCU main character in this game. The Hunter. Let's go here. Medium brown, brown, dark brown, blue, green. Let's go that brown, and then we have hairstyle. Rotate is here. Okay. Whoa! This is so if the hunter was like, if this was late 80s, early 90s, then the volume, amazing. Long pony. Loose pony. This, your hair we get in your eyes all the time. It's too much for fighting. Half up ponytail. A little sort of Viking look. That's not bad. Medium straight. No. Tousled bob. Pretty good. Hair here is not bad. Medium curly. Okay, this seems like it could be decent hair, comic book hair for like a black hunter, which is not bad for my understanding. I defer to actual black people to give their perspective on that. Sweat bob, not too bad. Bob, this is just Magic's haircut, so I don't want to steal her bit. Short curly, I like this. That's not bad. Spiky dreads, not for a white person. Windswept, this is at least mostly shorter hair that would still get in her way. Natural short, again, this is not your hair unless you are secretly a very, very light-skinned black person. Probably. Fringe looks decent, but not super exciting to me. Pixie, small variation. High fade, faux hawk. If we want to just have the same haircut as Captain Marvel. Natural buzz cut, no hair. Okay, let's have some hair. So for me, the contenders are Pixie's not bad. Windswept is not bad. Short Curly, I think this is viable for like white person with very curly hair. Bob, no thank you. Swept Bob, okay. Tousle Bob. This I like because it's a credible fighting haircut. Like the hair will actually be out of her eyes. Yeah, that's why it's like mostly we're looking at like this set of backgrounds, but not exclusively. Loose Pony, I often do a hairstyle like this for a main character. Is it credible for fighting? No. Do I like it how it looks? Yes. This is just too funny. This is a little boring. So I think I'm torn. I'm looking at Loose Pony, Half Up, Tousle Bob, or Swept Bob. What do y'all think? I can let aesthetic rule over credible. That's true. So, Loose Pony. Yeah, I also dig Loose Pony. Hair, we can have red hair, so we can do this. We can have auburn, like auburn, blonde, light blonde, black, dark brown, lighter brown. It does change the eyebrows, thankfully, so you don't get that weird disjunct. Let's see, so this Lilith was a witch in the kind of Salem witch trials era. We can elect an impractical pony slide. I think that is accurate. I appreciate that we can give facial hair to the looks like to either of the body type characters. So I think I will not do facial hair, but I appreciate that it's an option. So what do you think on hair color? I'm leaning away from the blondes. It's a little bit too much with the gold here for me. So I would say dark brown, black, or auburn are my preferences here. Also thinking like what works with the rest of her coloration. All right. I'm thinking dark brown. I like the braid in here. Uh-oh. Getting a little bit of lag there. Okay, I think this is our hunter.
Child of light and darkness, you who tame the night.
You are the player character.
Hear the voice of those who beseech thee and
The collar! Wait! Wait! Ah!
Mother.
I think they might. Well, I guess this is a pocket dimension. So if it wasn't a pocket dimension, Lilith would then immediately know where they are, and we would have a base defense mission very quickly. But pocket dimension.
concern, I've seen worse. Particularly on myself.
I wonder if that's a reference to
That thing wakes up and
the
takes a bite
multiverse
out of
Doctor
your
Strange.
Visiting hours are over.
You can't stay here forever.
There's nowhere else I should be.
Just saw that Stark guy poking around behind the mirror table.
Find me as soon as they awaken. And Blade, be nice.
Always am.
I don't think he's always nice. Sometimes he kills vampires. Okay, loading. Why are we in space? Space? Part 1, The Awakening. So all of that was like the first issue of the Midnight Sun series, right? We had another cliffhanger of the hunter waking up.
So cold, but the air burns with every breath. Has it been so long? I know this place. In my dreams, it was always empty.
Well, that syncs a bit better.
But now I sense I am not alone.
Have to admit, Hunter, you make one hell of an entrance.
Just looming like I do. 'Cause I'm a badass.
Guess that makes two of us.
You should have struck when you had the chance, vampire. You will not live to regret your error.
Cute, and Caretaker told me to be nice. Relax, Slayer. I'm a friend. You just don't know it yet.
Yes. I saw you with Sarah before. But what would she want with a vampire? Unless...
The name's Blade, and I'm no ordinary vampire. I get you've been out of commission, but I thought you noticed since we're having this little showdown under the freaking sun.
A dampier? Daywalkers were a myth even to me.
Says the half-human, half-demon monster hunter.
Touché. So, we get dialogue options. I could do this. I do hunt monsters. You seem to know a lot of money. A lot about me.
My history, Dampier.
Heard my fair share of stories from Caretaker. The legendary hunter. Child of Lilith. Last champion of the blood. Some call you angel, some demon. Probably a little of both. Led the Knights of Wundagore against the armies of darkness until you fell at...
Fell?
Shoot. This is why they don't normally have me do the meet and greets.
I can see why.
P.S. You died.
Right. As much as I'd love to see how much weirder this conversation can go, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. The prophecy is in motion. I can feel it. We have wasted too much time here already.
Man, the others are really gonna love you.
Others?
Yeah, you've got a little fan club, I think. But why spoil the surprise? Hope you're up for the challenge, chosen one.
All right, and so I can just like walk around in this area. There's a whole bunch of area that is like you can discover stuff and get resources and things, I guess, is what I hear. Let's just go and do what we're supposed to do for now, and then there'll probably be some prompts to explore the space. Yeah, choppy.
Or did Nico just raise the dead?
I definitely helped, but no, that's the one thing I can't do.
You were never able to raise the dead.
Huh? But she just did.
Maybe the hunter wasn't all dead.
Some part of them had to be alive, otherwise my spell wouldn't have done anything. Which makes sense, I guess.
All right.
Hunter.
I don't know how much longer that
Not
would have
sure if you
gone, but I
remember
felt
me,
like a
but
place
we
to
met
come in.
briefly before. I'm
The witch who called me back from the grave.
Told you.
or Nico, but either works. And this is
Robbie Reyes. Oh man, never thought I'd be standing next to you. Got quite a rep. I mean, caretakers told us stories.
That's Ileana.
Привет.
And I think you already met Blade.
Of course. Caretaker has reformed the Midnight Suns.
Whoa. How did you...
Your power. I can feel it. I always do.
So, welcome home. I guess we...
I never left.
Right. Well, we can fast forward through the tour then. The Abbey is still, well, you know, the Abbey. Basic stuff. Dorms, war room, library, a few places to chill, and, whatever the hell the Forge is. Have to say, for a haunted transient castle raised on the cursed grounds of Old Salem, it's pretty cozy.
All right. So yeah, like we can probably go all of that through all of that area.
We can all thank Robbie for the Wi-Fi. Oh, and one more thing. We've got some new house guests now. You think we're a fun bunch, just wait until you meet them. Speaking of, we're here.
So we have groceries delivering
Okay, spend 10 minutes
sometime.
in this place alone, Bruce, then see. Oh, gotta go. Show's about to begin.
So when the groceries arrive, I will need to go on a quick break and help Meg get the groceries and kind of square everything away. So arriving today, 8:10, between 8:10 and 9:10, but you're the next stop. So I'll just keep an eye on that. Luckily, I don't know that there's any timed elements in this game, so it should not be hard from that perspective. All right, and it doesn't look like I can talk to any of these. Well, I can talk to people. Hello.
Caretaker's home for wayward sorcerers, scientists, and slayers. Sounds like something Doctor Strange would come up with.
All right,
You should probably go talk to Caretaker. I think she's already got plans for your first mission.
So we got some positional audio.
Crazy day, huh?
I can't talk to everyone, and therefore I will.
Did someone give you a cup of coffee at least? I know I'm useless in the morning without a little boost. We could probably have one of these witches or warlocks magic you over a barista.
It's almost impossible to imagine the horror, the atrocities committed on these grounds all those years ago. Then again, we are less than 20 miles from Fenway Park.
I must admit, Hunter, having studied the tomes and read of your exploits in the past,
I dig this armor. It's silly,
never
but
occurred to
I
me
like it.
that we might someday face Lilith together.
Triple pauldron.
Lots of new blood around here. Some seriously powerful headliners. I wonder if you ever ran into any of my predecessors back in the day. We, tend to stand out.
Welcome to the war room, Hunter.
Big personalities, too.
What band is
I
that?
think
Dark.
you mean big egos. But none of that matters unless they can help us get to war.
Dark Side. Dark Slide. I wonder if that's a Marvel specific band or if it's a our world band
Prophecies be damned.
that's
It's
also
good
in the
to
MC
see that
and
face
also in this
again.
Marvel world.
You look like it was yesterday.
And you look older.
We are your starting
How
party.
long was I in that crypt, Sarah?
No more than a few centuries. You were missed.
Centuries? And what of Lilith?
Fallen by your hand. Until now.
Yeah, so speaking of Lilith.
Tony?
What? The kid's literally speaking of Lilith. Tony. That's my name.
Tony, that's Carol and Dr. Spooky over there. Here to help.
Help with what, exactly?
Oh, I don't know. Throwing the magic amulet into the volcano? smiting the Dragon Mother? You tell us, kid. You are the chosen one, after all.
Do you recall anything of that last encounter, child?
You could speak less, Tony.
There was a voice. The rest is hazy.
Oh, a voice. That's it? A voice? That's what we have to go on?
Results of your long crypt sleep, most likely.
A minor inconvenience. Everything required to restore those memories is contained within my sanctum.
We will just use upgrade materials.
Wanda to prepare the necessary rituals.
I suppose because we don't have Spider-Man around yet, somebody else has to be the quipper.
Must be mystical interference caused by this little pocket dimension of yours.
Perhaps Agatha can help.
About that.
Allow me. Alato.
Whoa, what kind of network you running there?
The all-seeing eye of Ereshkigal who judges, bound to enchanted Babylonian soul glass.
It's 6G.
Just call it the mirror table.
Wanda! The dark force, pushing against the wards. Stephen, where are you?
That's impossible. Nothing on Earth could possibly affect those wards.
Wanda's in trouble.
It's clearly something not from Earth. Hey, Odds Boy. I am liking it so far.
Help, of course.
Then let us make haste.
It has cleared the quippy bar. The writing is sometimes cheesy, but mostly in a fun way, and I dig the combat so far. Though I am just heading into probably the first not as tightly tutorialized mission. Okay, story mission.
We simply cannot afford to lose contact with the Sanctum or Wanda.
All right, so we do have to take a specific party. The Sanctum Sanctorum contains many powerful artifacts which must be protected. Doctor Strange needs to return to the Sanctum, find Scarlet Witch, and stabilize the wards. We will get a gamma coil, which is a common upgrade material, question mark. And we've got Quippy, we got this guy. It's a bit like XCOM, but the tactical combat is definitely different.
It's a cloak, not a cape.
And so we're getting banter in the background.
I'm calling it now.
You two are going to be best friends before this is over. So we're lampshading the, like, friends to bromance. This is a little bit much. All right, so we've got our stats here. I imagine we will tweak this once we start getting upgrade materials. We do, you will notice, have friendship levels. So developing character relationships will be an important part of this game. However, there is no romancing, which I understand. I just wish that they decided to go another way.
Unless Bruce is right about gamma interference. If such a thing could even exist. Are you ready? The prophecy of the Midnight Sun does not linger, and neither should we. Lilith possesses the dark.
Agreed, Aaron.
If she forced her way into my Sanctum Sanctorum once, I suspect she can do it again.
You are a sorcerer supreme. Can you not predict her movements?
Normally, yes. But since your mother breached the Sanctum, my sense of the future has grown volutinous in nature.
Is that another language, or...?
Fuzzy. My predictions are fuzzy.
I've been nerfed in order to make the game viable.
My apprentice in danger. We cannot tarry.
Your sanctum will survive. We shall see to that.
Indeed, the Sanctum Sanctorum has weathered its fair share of trouble over the years. Blaze storms, a few short-tempered celestials that issue with the zoning commission. This time, it feels different.
This time, we're in a video game.
I do not doubt Wanda's capability, but without my predictive acumen, I cannot bolster the wards should she need it. Still, Still, the wards are woven into the sanctum's very essence. They should hold. In any case, all will be revealed with time.
Okay, so we've got a couple of swords here. I imagine this is one of the things we can customize with like gear and stuff. Okay, we got one friendship XP with Doctor Strange for saying something that he liked.
About time.
Not just about time, Mr. Brooks. Time, space, reality, the building blocks of magic. All must be constant for my portals to work properly. Yet as we now know, that is no longer the case.
We've heard.
Several times. Otherwise, I would still be hunting dread maidens in my sleep.
Indeed. And while I certainly appreciate the view of this vista, I fail to see how it will hasten our return to the sanctum.
Magic is the answer.
No, as I've just stated, magic is the problem.
Your magic is not ours. The ground you are standing on exists within two worlds. A mystical anchor point to Ileana's realm that allows her to... Well, I'll just let her show you.
You're not the only one who can do cool portals. I imagine that in a few months there will be romance mods for this game with like fan voice acting, but it does really feel like a missed opportunity for it to not have just been in the main game.
Any more questions?
All right, I believe I just heard the delivery start to happen, so I'm going to hop over to my break card, and I should be back in, I would say, about 5 minutes, and we'll go into this next mission. Be right back. Oop. It was a false alarm. The food is not here yet. So let's go do a mission. Hello?
You should be more careful.
All right, let's go. Enter the portal to Limbo.
You are standing in Limbo. Nexus of all realities, both real or otherwise. A chaotic but secret realm beyond the influence of Lilith. Thus far.
Are you certain of that? Because I am sensing all kinds of...
Dark energy. That feeling you're being watched. General hellhole vibe.
Yes.
All these potentialities converging at once? Truly surprising feat, Miss Rasputin. For someone so young, of course.
Other versions of the Hunter.
This is crazy. Wait until you see Manhattan.
Cities are a lot. Big cities.
Here, magic can open gateways to just about anywhere on our planet and beyond.
Ooh.
We don't want to risk
Yikes.
punching through the wards protecting your sanctum, Doctor. So we've chosen a safe exit a few blocks over instead.
Couldn't be worse than the last time.
It was just a simple miscommunication.
Okay. Yeah, because there is a season pass, there will be more characters. America Chavez is not among the ones that were announced. I don't know that they're going to do more extra characters beyond that season pass. Probably depends on how well the game sells. I'm guessing that the cast list was partially drawn from the X-Men and or the Marvel characters that the creative leads liked and were excited to get to include, with a little bit of, okay, let's make sure to have characters from across the breadth of the universe in a few across a few dimensions. We got to have Wolverine, we got to have Spider-Man, we're going to have Iron Man. Okay, so let's do this Ghost Rider. Let's do we're going to not have Scarlet Witch, but let's do magic. Okay, like we have somebody from New Mutants, we have somebody from kind of, okay, here's Wolverine, and there may have been like cluster, like, okay, here's a big board with a bunch of clusters of various characters. Let's have a little bit from all of these different places. Or it was just somebody's favorites list. Yeah, I would expect to see a more, or I think the next time we see America Chavez, she will probably be a little bit more action ready in terms of being a combatant. I don't know to what degree they're going to have her doing Doctor Strange style magic, or whether that training will be the thing that unlocks her like punching through dimensions power, and then her power will more be her own, and the training will have just been a thing that got her there, got her to being able to do it. They must be from one of those off-Broadway shows.
Hey, I'm walking here. All I ate today was a bagel.
Well, at least we know the wards of protection are still in place.
So who are we facing?
I suggest we hurry.
Are we just looking at Hydra goons, or we got some biggins? Hydra officer, not your average Hydra goon. It looks like they have a super suit.
No one's getting through.
Welcome to New York.
It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Defeat all enemies to complete the encounter.
I hesitate to call this good news, but I'm seeing minimal Hydra resistance between you and the Sanctum.
Looks can be deceiving, I'm afraid. There's no way these foot soldiers are behind the disruption of the wards of protection.
So, a quick card. On KO, refund a card play. So you have 20, you are a minion. So if I KO you by knocking you into somebody else, I will get this card play back. Attacks with keyword quick will refund the card play when used to KO an enemy. Use quick cards on minions for a guaranteed KO and refund. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Video game. If I... Let's start chipping down that enemy. I imagine the officer is going to take the longest to defeat.
I hope this is one of the stronger arms. We did come all the way here for a fight.
So we need 3 for stake. We're going to redraw this heal and probably this other heal because the hunter has not lost any life yet. Okay, so Max 1 per ability. But if I quick strike you, I'm a vampire hunter. Also, I have guns.
And I thought Man-Thing was ugly.
Draw 1 blade card. The next 2 damage cards apply to bleed. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Use this as buff. And I got strike. Chain 2. Chain. Select multiple targets or the same target multiple times. Bleed. Apply 2 bleed. Okay, so I have 3 heroism now, so I could life steal, but I have not. I also have not taken damage yet. So let's do strike on these enemies. Do some anime shit. Getting up there next to them. You have 10 hit points left. You have 35. Okay, and I have 1 card play left. I should probably use some of this heroism. This will just kill you. Let's use it on... You already have bleed, so let's do it on this one who is healthy, because that will just take them out entirely. And that's all of my redraws. These 2 enemies are focused on the hunter. So let's tab to the hunter. And let's move over here so that she is not going to get knocked into things so much. They can continue reuse move to reposition themselves until any hero uses an ability. Okay, so you're not stuck. I could decide, actually, I want to be over here. But I think I will see if that works. So 11 damage to Hunter. And a power whip. So this character is now slowed.
On beta en route for support. Take them out.
And Officer does a buff. This enemy is overloaded, but it kills an... Oh, that's the bleed. Great. So...
That gamma spike we detected in your area seems to be growing. Let's assume that's not a good thing.
Enemy area attacks will go off at the end of the... Use move or an ability to move any nearby heroes to safety. Knock enemies into the area attack to turn the tables on your foes. Okay, so this enemy, I could knock them back, but I don't know that I can... Alright, so we're going to move the hunter. Because you don't have an attack. We're going to move you over to here. So you're not in the AoE. And then... if I knock you back over here... Yeah, that can't knock you back into anything. So if I do this... That will probably get Strange out of the AoE. And then I might be able to move Blade using an attack. Oh, everybody's out of it now. Great. Now I might see if I can knock enemies into it. Draw the last 2 attacks played. Apply 2 weak, enhanced with 4 heroism, plus 15 damage. Alright, I don't need 2 of these. Blessing of the Vishanti. Give hero cards in your plus... oh, great. Yeah, let's do that. So, I only have 1 card play, but now this does a ton of damage. And... Blade, you are at full, so we're going to use the Axe of Angaramus. Critical stat. We're going to use that on this enemy and take them out entirely. Nice. And that should be my last card play. This enemy is going to attack the hunter. And then maybe next turn I will draw my heal card. Did not knock out that other Hydra. Good. And the enemy ran away. Okay. So this does not heal. So let's redraw this in case we get the heal card. Whip. Forceful knockback. Discard a random card. Alright, so we're going to move to here. Because then I can knock you back into this, whatever that thing is. And it will be cool. That was cool.
You were too weak for this fight.
Alright, that was the objective. Are we going to get, like, now there's a boss encounter? That's basically what I did, but not in the same place.
Misguided as they are, remember, Hydra is still human, Hunter. Not Lilin.
Sure about that?
Lifeblood of the Mother pumps through our veins. The Mother is eternal. Hydra is eternal.
Uh-oh. You gonna turn into a big monster? Nope, that was a suicide thing, I guess. Or not.
Wards, weakening. Cannot let them fail.
Okay. Now I think the food is just about here. So hopefully this cutscene does not go on too long. We're gonna fight a named enemy now? Or is this just Lilith in her second appearance?
Exactly.
The Neighborhood Association is not going to like this.
No.
I'll handle it.
Uh-oh. Something is... We are Venom, and you are lunch. Okay. Start the thing. I need to go do groceries. Okay. Now I will go to break. Venom symbiote binds can be... Okay, whatever. I'll be right back. We're back. It's time to fight Magic Venom. Fallen Venom. So in this game, we're going to run into like Lilith corrupted versions of characters that are like the Fallen version. I think this is a smart idea. It lets them use kind of characters that are familiar, but tweak them in some way. So the symbiote binds can be broken by attacking them with hero abilities. I'm guessing that's going to be part of this bit. But powerful enemies, like Fallen Venom, do not forecast which hero they intend to attack, and may attack multiple times on their turn. Watch out. They're a boss. I hope for optimization.
Quickly, do I even want to know what that beast is?
It calls itself Venom. Until now, a pale imitation of a very heroic young friend of mine.
We will feed your ugly tongue to the spider wizard. Marinate it in his stomach juices and eat it with his spleen.
Yikes. And I'm still hurt from the previous fight. So, Venom, after being melee attacked, a 50% chance to gain symbiote skin and bind the next melee attacker. Bind and stun only restrain for one action. Attacks cannot be resisted, cannot be knocked into drops. Okay, so these are minions. And we do not have a heal for our hunter. So slash whip. Forceful knockback. Okay, let's use blush. No, because we don't need it for the knockback. Let's redraw this. These are quick back. So let's do a knockback here. Let's knock back you into you. So they're just done.
Your mother abandons you.
We can knock back Venom into this thing. We have 2 card plays left. This is quick, but it... Okay. I could have gotten the attack refunded if I was just using quick slashes on those minions. Or one of them. That's fine. So let's do Make 'em Bleed, which will give me a buff that it should extend it next turn. Oh, level up. Is that a character level up? It was a character level up. +5 health, +2 offense. Stats. Strike, chain 2, apply 2 bleed. All right. That is going to do more damage. And it will put a character who has a healing ability up in front. All right. And he did get the skin, which means that he will then bind Blade. After triggering, use ranged attacks. Yeah. Okay, so because I did these 2 in a row... Oh, okay. That counted as 1 attack. Which means I can move Blade back over here. And we have a redraw, but we can't play anything, so I guess we just end turn and we see what Venom does to us. Okay, so the skin thing goes away. And now Strange is bound. And an attack. Okay. Reinforcements incoming. More Hydra mooks. But Venom has been hit with Bled. Use other hero abilities to damage the binding and free them. Bindings will be removed with any damage, similar to minions. So I wonder if Quick will KO the thing. Let's find out. Does not look like it gets refunded, but it did the trick. It did refund. Great.
Thankfully, no.
So if I use Blessing of Vishanti, I can then get a damage bonus on these things. There is one enemy over there. No, so I want to move. Move so I can knock... Well, I think these are too far away for the knockback, is the thing. So let's... No, actually I want to do that on you again. Because it worked well. Or was that a tutorial thing? No, it looked like it did the attack twice. Okay. And then... This, you are a minion, but that won't refund again. So let's do... Okay. So we escape, and now we're going to move the hunter to here, because then you can knock back this enemy into that wall, right? Into that cinder block. And because this was a... Okay, it was not a different thing, so it... I don't get the refund. So we're going to throw you into that, which is electricity, which you don't like. Stunned, but stun does not last as long against you. And now the hunter levels up. Symbiote skin removed, which is good. If a stun unit takes damage, they'll be reawakened. So I have 0 card plays. We end turn. You will still get to do some stuff, yeah. Oh no! You knocked out my hunter because I didn't draw my healing thing. But maybe that's intentional so that we can learn the resurrection mechanic or the revive mechanic. Yep, so here's the revive mechanic.
Ready for this thing yet. Might be smarter to pull back until we know what we're up against here.
So this doesn't cost a card play, but it does cost heroism. But we have a lot of heroism. So I get half my health back.
I will not waste this opportunity.
But the rest of my hand is all so let's use Agamotto's Gaze. That'll get her some attacks back, and it'll give us another card play next turn. And Strange levels up. Great. Because I can... move the hunter. Oh, maybe I can't. I think I need to move over here so that I can knock these enemies into each other. If I knock you into you... Okay, that one doesn't get knocked into the barrel, but it worked pretty well. Axe of Angaromus. Okay, like the more heroism you have, the more damage that does, which is cool. Let's... Okay, this one doesn't count if I knock you into something because it's quick. So let's get rid of that last enemy, and then we'll use our final attack on Venom. I do really like all the knockback stuff. It's fun. And then we're going to use the big axe. Kapow. Very good.
You carry the responsibility of Sorcerer Supreme with great ease, Doctor.
And that's that. I should be using my redraws more.
Monoforms are for the weak. Stop your struggling.
So Hunter is bound. Strange gets thrown. So that looks like 18 total reinforcements for Hydra. So defeating Venom is going to be, I think that will trigger the end of the match. You get +1 card play because of the card I used last time. 27. Okay.
And are rewarded with your meat.
And to think Lilith was a vegetarian.
So if I use... None of this is quick. So let's go ahead and use this big lifesteal attack. Doesn't quite take them out. And they did not activate their healing thing. I don't have... Okay. So I can use Agamotto's Gaze and redraw my attacks. And I can use one of those attacks to free the hunter. Immune to knockback. Will it still free you? Yes. No. Okay, good to know. So now I'm going to do the same thing again, and that'll take you out. Overkill.
Looks like the main event is over.
And with Venom down, do I not have to fight the Hydra? Yep, looks like I don't have to fight them, because Venom gets out of town.
No escape from me, demon.
Hold up. We don't know what we're dealing with yet.
Well, there she goes. Unless she gets stopped by somebody. Nope. Round 2. Unless this is where the hunter goes Nova. And we get to see them being cool. No, it's the friendly neighborhood Spiderly. Spiderman.
I was in the neighborhood, you know, being friendly. Seemed like you folks could use a hand, Doc. Jeez, Eddie, what happened to you? That's sort of a horrifyingly terrible new look. The tongue was gross enough, but whoa! Someone is extra touchy today.
We will rip your face off and suck the marrow from your bones!
Always nice to see you too, buddy.
Spider-Man.
Your
Spider-Man.
friends here could use a little break. How about I take Eddie here for his afternoon walk? Don't worry, Doc. That's just his way of saying he cares.
Alright, so he's going to deal with Venom, and we go and fight somebody else? Third stage to this mission? No. We got 2 stars. I don't know what that means. We do get the common gamma coil. This is a fun thing. Every mission, you get a comic book cover with kind of the heroes that you took on the mission, and they have different poses. I can edit the photo. So I can, let's see, so we go back, characters, Doctor Strange, we can change pose. So we can do this. We can we move the character? I can rotate him. Whee! So maybe not that pose, because if I can't move, yeah, if I can't move him up, then that other pose was better. This is very fun. And expression, it can be yelling, determined, back, line, wedge. Oh, I like that better. See? Take photo. You've saved a photo to your photo roll. Photos can be viewed by visiting the gallery in Superlink. Any photo can be converted into a painting that can be hung on the walls in the Abbey. I love it. A+ feature. Gloss. This is some upgrade material, I believe. So I lose 10 for a hero being knocked out. But you get a score for when you do the mission. there's lots of difficulty options in the game, so you can you could replay the game with way, way higher difficulty, and then you have to struggle a bunch more. I don't know that I will play through the whole thing multiple times. Maybe if the DLC characters can be added at the beginning or near the beginning of the game, I might do a second run if I really like it to have those DLC characters play a more important role. If I could romance characters, I absolutely would play the game more. I would replay the game. You hear me, Firaxis? Let me have these characters smooch. Cowards. I don't know if it's Firaxis being cowards or Marvel, but somebody's a coward. Let them smooch. Let me ship Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Let my people kiss. Exactly, the kids are asleep. Let me have Magic and Nico have a tempestuous and ultimately doomed fling. So, loading times here. I do appreciate that there's kissing in Teenage Exocolonists. That's definitely on my radar. I still haven't finished Potionomics, though, so that's my next thing to finish on stream so that I don't leave as many threads dangling. And then sometime in the last week of the year, probably, I'm going to do my second annual Stuff of the Year stream, The Sodies, which is partially a me talking about things I liked, and partially it's an awards show. I haven't decided how much of an awards show it's going to be this year.
New world or not, some things remain unchanged.
The look.
What look?
Boldly charging headfirst into the jaws of your enemy. Courageously risking the lives of yourself and your teammates. Just to play the hero.
Dr. Strange backing off.
This is the Fire Dragon all over again.
Fire Dragoon. My memories may be fragmented, but as I recall, I killed the bastard.
And all it cost was a village.
I see it now. The look.
That does seem like a problem.
Wasn't that simple?
It never is. Which is why I sent you to help. If Spider-Man hadn't come along today, we could have lost far more than
The Sanctum?
Or Wanda?
She means I could have died. Again, putting an end to her eternal crusade against my mother.
So, one thing I did not like in my trip is the place where I was staying.
For now, it's enough that you all made it back in one piece.
I booked PAX Unplugged late enough
More or less.
that I could not get one of the hotels that were 0 to 2 blocks away,
We'll talk more later.
or even 4 or 5 blocks away. So instead, I got a spot in a apartment hotel, kind of like, what if some company bought a building and
Not to be the nagging old lady, but I told you not to push too hard.
decided to make all of those apartment rentals just constantly only rentable instead of leasable.
What is this?
Jeremiah Kane, breaker of chains. Will Walker, son of this land. Yelena Nikovic, believed the best and made it so. I don't know if these are Marvel characters or if they are Firaxis team members or something like that. Possibly children who were born to people in the Firaxis team during development. I know development babies are a thing that some game companies will put in their credits.
Fiasco.
And it would have been far worse had Spider-Man not arrived when he did.
You did okay out there, considering you were technically dead 72 hours ago. Not bad, Hunter. Not bad at all.
All right. Do you have more to say?
You should probably head inside. Take it easy before we have to go out again.
Okay. Much talking.
Impressive first outing, just as I had expected. You're going to do great things, Hunter. Not the outcome I envisioned for our first mission together, but you know what they say. Any mystical battle you can teleport away from.
No kidding. Caretaker would have been pissed if Venom had actually eaten a hunter.
Yes, one disaster averted. But we still need to figure out how to get Wanda and the Sanctum back.
All right. Lots of talky, but I dig it. Oh, that mustache.
You look scathed. What's up, Big H?
Big H. Okay.
Hey, for what it's worth, I think you did okay out there. You got some decent hang time, even given you were wearing, what, 70, 80 pounds of chainmail? On the Stark scale of reckless yet daring heroics, I give it a solid 6 out of 10. Don't worry, you'll get there, with a little help.
Think you could have done better?
It is doubtful you could have done better. If you could, you would not have raised me from the dead.
Whoa, 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 don't go all rabid zombie demon on me. It was just a little constructive criticism. You did a commendable job, considering you were, you know, reborn yesterday. I couldn't help but overhear Auntie Caretaker over there telling you to get some rest. That sounds like a good idea to me. I suppose I could keep you company on the way, seeing as our rooms are in the same direction and all. Besides, no one should be forced to walk the hallways around here alone.
Are you scared, Tony? Scared of the magic stuff? Spooky magic stuff?
So, here we are. The old room, huh? It's not bad. Functional. Solid
Stark
construction.
present?
Almost cozy. Love the antique furnishings.
Dog.
From the early Mephisto collection. Full transparency, Hunter. There's another reason I asked to join you here, other than my abject terror of this entire facility. Stopped here before, while you were out. Wanted to surprise you with a nice little housewarming present. Was all set to write you a lovely welcome note, but I'm fairly certain that wasn't red ink in your quill.
But I do not have a quill.
Even better.
Relax, Tony. I simply jest. It is an ink derived of the spider lily flower. Red spider lily flowers.
Of course it was. Obviously.
With just a touch of amphibian blood. For power.
Haha! Another zinger. And we'll just leave it at that.
I appreciate how uncomfortable he
I
is.
suppose I should leave before whatever monstrosity that is most definitely hiding under your bed jumps out, rips my face off, and then proceeds to feast on my soul. I'll leave you to it.
May your sleep be filled with pleasant dreams, Tony.
Right back at you. Oh, and if you hear the shrieking of a grown man, please ignore it. It's just me, walking to my room.
Very nice.
Hi, I'm Tony Stark. But if you're hearing this message, you already know that. When I'm not saving the world, I solve the world's problems with technological means, like the one you're holding. I call it the Spark. A secure information and communication device built only for superheroes. It does all the usual. Private messages, pictures, and calls for some reason. But it also comes with access to Superlink, a private social network exclusively for your cape-wearing, world-saving compatriots. You might ask, Tony, aren't you just repurposing a failed product from your communications division? If you do, I'll revoke access and let everyone else know you're a jerk. I call it the Wonder Man rule.
So, some in-universe, some diegetic UI. First post. What do you mean? We've had Superlink for months now. We use it every day. I mean, first post the Hunter sees. Blade, Robbie, you can't keep doing this when someone new joins Superlink. Robbie Reyes. Yes, I can. Ileana Rasputin. He means he will throw your spark in the lagoon. Robbie Reyes. He wouldn't do that, right? Blade? Right? Blade? Fine. Last time. Ileana Rasputin. First we make Wanda leave. Now we leave her to die. Some heroes. Stephen Strange. I assure you that is not the case. Ileana. She was sent to you for protection. I see how that worked. Supreme Sorcerer. Stephen Strange. We both know that it was more complicated than that, Miss Rasputin. I took Wanda as my apprentice for a reason. Have faith she can handle herself. Blade. Strange did take everything he could get to Wanda. So did I, and the Hunter. Take a breath, Ileana. We'll get her back soon enough. Ileana. Wanda should be here, with us. Stephen Strange. Of that, I am in agreement. Okay. Timeline. All right. Spreads out. Here is a map. You cannot fast travel right now. So there is some map. We have 4 characters playable so far. Get some texture pop in here. So, I don't know that our stats have diverged at all yet. Okay. He does have some more. Oh, you're level 3. Okay. So you have a little bit less health. That makes sense. And then we have various stats that will probably include upgrade doing things. Cards. So we have 2 heals, 2 whips, 2 slashes, and 2 quick slashes. Customization. Can't do yet. Profile. Hunter. Single target damage. Supporting allies. Many ability options. An alignment thingy. Alignment balance. Balance can be affected by making choices as you interact with heroes around the Abbey. Conversations, hero requests, activities. Playing Hunter cards with alignment, light or dark. Some stats. By choosing ability from 3 distinct branches of light, dark, or power, the Hunter can be a strong support hero, a devastating damage dealer, or nearly anything in between. Okay, so we have some flexibility there. Blade. So, quick strike, make him bleed, stake. View ability details. Show upgrade, more damage. Cards. Chain 3. Okay, cool. And Doctor Strange. So I think later on you can edit the deck. You can upgrade the cards. You get new cards that you can kind of cycle in. Each character's deck is 8 cards. No more, no less, is my understanding. And Iron Man. Mark target. Apply 2 marked and 2 vulnerable. Good. Quick redraw to add knockback. I wonder if do I redraw by discarding that card, or if I redraw any card, quick blasts that are still in my hand gain knockback. Redraw to add forceful. Okay, so it looks like you have some redraw manipulation in your deck. Interesting. Okay, inventory. I imagine we'll start getting stuff. Okay, look at all this. Crafting abilities and things. Collections, gifts, quest items, combat items. Okay, cool. Settings is just a settings tab. Inspect the journal page, closet, and painting. Interact.
There never was enough room for my armor in this thing.
More tutorializing. Gloss earned from missions can be spent to unlock new cosmetic options for the Hunter and heroes, including outfits to wear around the Abbey. Select and purchase a new Abbey outfit for the Hunter now. So these are rare and they cost more gloss. Tank top, white t-shirt, gray sweater, long sleeve, black. So what do we think? We want to shell out for one of the athletic ones, or I think I would probably go with this if we did the common. Fashion, Marvel fashion show. Right? Like that, this feels weird. Also, we can't remove the torque on her neck, which kind of, it doesn't go with everything. Let's just be honest. Me putting my rider in a tank top. Fine. All right, we have 112, so we can only get we can get 2 of the common ones. Can we rotate? Yeah, let's rotate and see what this looks like. All right, that's more like, that's kind of also like athletic gear, right? All right, I'm inclined to do this one for now. The outfit has been added to your inventory. And journal page. Hunter's Journal, April 3rd, 1703. Aunt Sarah wants me to practice my letters, and so here I am. But every time I dip this pen in ink, I just want more and more to go out beyond the yard into my secret spots. I left my dolls scattered about before the storm, and I'm afraid they're hurt. Do dolls hold grudges? Agatha says they don't, but I still feel sad for them. So this is when the hunter is a kid, presumably. This is probably telling me that I should go explore and find the hunter's dolls, and I might get some more backstory.
My old journal. Maybe it is time I start.
Complete item collections to gain special rewards. Got some magic-looking stuff there. Some boxes. Painting. So there's Agatha, right?
We were all so happy then.
Agatha and Sarah with Hound, 1710, painted by Sally Owens, oil in canvas, circa 1710. Good dog. Give me the dog. Give me the dog. Where is the dog? See, the dog has a bed right there. Where's the dog? We do get the dog, don't worry. And you can pet the dog. I get that animation is limited, but it was kind of like no sheets, sleeping in all your clothes. Okay. Okay. So these are some of the other like previous Guardians or previous Midnight Suns. Is that true? Is it only you? Or do you need to learn a lesson about relying on your team? Is that your character arc? Yes!
Charlie!
What a good hellhound.
I know. I missed you too. Let her enjoy the moment. She's been visiting your door every morning for the past 300 years.
Oh, it must have been so hard on her.
Not just her. I suppose that's why I might have been a little curt before.
A little?
You already made the ultimate sacrifice once. Maybe I'm in no rush to see you do it again.
Good dog.
We do not choose our destiny.
But we can choose to duck.
First lesson you ever taught me.
And still the most important. Especially now that you have all these eyes on you.
I have noticed.
To these people, you are a being of myth and legend. A grand hero.
I appreciate the dog is just like...
And they're right. You are a hero. But I also know the battle that rages within your soul. It's not enough that you are a hero. You need to decide what type of hero you will be. I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunity for that in the days to come. For now, I would head to the forge. Our new guests are eager to show you something.
It's more tutorialization, probably. Because there's a lot of systems in this game.
When it was just you and I beheading the Dark Legion as we traipsed through the woods.
Don't forget about Agatha.
I never could.
I imagine we're going to hear some about what went down with Agatha. My expectation is that Agatha left/broke bad. Oof. Get some... I would like a patch, please. Or is this my computer? It was Agatha all along. Well, we may... Oh, okay. We got some extra tutorialization. Dog. 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 Yes. Pet the dog. Who's the best hellhound?
Salutations.
Oh yeah, you know. If I can't get romance, at least I can pet. Yeah.
Now?
Think you can tell your friend inside there to turn it up a few hundred Kelvin?
I could. However, it might shatter the containment spell preventing him from incinerating this facility.
I think we're good. And just in time.
The Forge has certainly changed.
Right. Caretaker said this all happened after your siesta. What spooky castle would be complete without its own Babylonian demon-powered furnace?
Sumerian fire demon. His name is Babs.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Well, once you get past the esoteric terror of the situation, I've found this thing actually has some uses. Molecular bonding, breaking down evil gamma serums, fashion accessorizing.
Yes, speaking of...
I dig Strange's outfit here.
It's ready.
Your armor seemed to offer minimal protection against the venom creature.
I noticed.
We made you new
Thought
armor.
You could use an upgrade.
Well hammered, well fired. Caretaker did not mention that you two were such skilled smithies.
Yep, I am Iron Smithy.
Perhaps you should just try it on.
It's magic superhero outfit bullshit. And we cut away to her taking clothes off and putting other ones on. It does look pretty good.
Still think it could have used a cloak.
No, no cloak. I dig this. This is a good look. You get the like split skirt on the leg thing here, kind of asymmetrical.
I still think it could have benefited from a cloak.
You think everything could benefit from a cloak?
I mean,
I do not.
a little bit.
I've heard the things you whisper to your cape when you think no one's listening. I hate to admit it, but somehow this ancient forge puts any arc reactor I've got to shame. Who would have thought mystically bound demon power would be so damn energy efficient? Or carbon neutral? Certainly got that new suit of yours done a lot faster than I expected. Speaking of, what's the verdict, boss?
Why is there a demon in the forge?
It is nice having an armorer on demand.
Anytime. I tried to make this version a little less palatable to that symbiote thing. Was this close to making it menthol flavored. But tools are just one part of the equation. You gotta know how to use them too. You were out, what, 300 years before we woke you from your eternal rest? I'm betting you have questions, so ask away, Hunter.
All of the things. So he's a narcissist, so asking about him first will please him.
You must have an interesting origin story of your own.
Well, just your typical American boy. Pops was a founding member of the military-industrial complex. Mom, a famous socialite. Tragedy struck when I lost them both in a car crash, which turned out to be a hit from a rival corporation. I spent my early teens at MIT, trying to clear my head. It was all set to follow in Dad's footsteps as a war profiteer. Then one day, fortune shined on me, in the form of some errant shrapnel that lodged itself just above my heart. So I did what anybody in that situation would do. I built a super suit and started fighting crime.
What anybody would do.
You seem well adjusted enough, considering.
Exactly, which means there's hope for you yet. I find these apocalypse scenarios will save you tons of therapy.
No. They may be cathartic. I don't know that they're necessarily always therapeutic. Let's do this one.
I take it this new version is a technological marvel?
Impact-resistant carbon composites, some patent-pending alloy mesh, and a few touches from Dr. Spooky over there. And hey, the built-in communicator means we can talk to each other without sending a raven.
So it is a marvel, then?
Lightweight, nearly indestructible, and modular enough for future upgrades.
Upgrades, you say?
Frankly, I wouldn't have used your old suit to wax the Mandarin's car.
Is all this magic a threat to your new technology?
It might surprise some people to hear this, but I do like some things with rules. Isotope decay, magnetic fields, and gamma oscillation make a lot more sense to me than Eye of Newt, bat wings, and a sprinkle of sunshine.
That's just because you don't know about it.
At least they did before everything changed.
Gamma again.
Gamma seems to be a recurring theme these days.
Oh, you think I'm bad? You should ask Bruce. Actually, don't. He's been really sensitive since... You know what? Never mind.
What sorts of things are you doing in here?
Oh, that's right. You were out a while. Basically, we've got a gigantic demon inside the magic box here that provides near limitless power for whatever we might need. Sounds insane, but sometimes it's easier to just go with it.
Okay, so why not magically create a way through that symbiote shield?
Have you ever known it to work that way? We can't just wish upon a star here. We need to know what we're making first and put together the right components.
It's a crafting system.
Otherwise, I've already whipped up Strange a new personality.
Seen anything strange around here?
I mean, aside from Steven.
Other than my roommate? Boom! Roasted! But on a more serious note, this place is legitimately haunted. Mirrors look back at you. My room rearranges itself. And worst of all, magic cats.
Was it suspiciously elusive, even for a cat?
Actually, yes. Thought I was going crazy there for a second, but clearly I'm still firing on all cylinders. It just poofed in next to me out in the yard. Small, black, furry. Cute little thing. Probably some kind of shape-shifting monster knowing this place.
Displacer cat?
Thanks for catching me up on things.
Anytime. Oh, and speaking of things, remember that creepy gamma goop you found from that hopped-up Hydra soldier? Well, I gave it a peek, and it explains a lot. If you have a minute, meet me at the anvil over there, and I'll walk you through it. I promise it'll be worth your time.
Analyze the gamma coil. Forge. Cat? Where is cat? Oop. Stuck again. Nope, not that angle, thank you. Gamma coil analysis.
Now, I doubt advanced gamma thermodynamics was a hot topic at Yield Demon Hunting School, so I'm just gonna give you the condensed version.
I appreciate that.
Closest I've ever seen to this substance is pumping through Bruce's veins. Part gamma accelerant, part unknown element. Calling it coil for now, given its unique atomic structure. Man, I love acronyms. This stuff is more volatile than Nick Fury on a Monday morning. But Hydra doesn't seem to mind.
They are using it to get stronger.
Exactly. A few drops would make your average salamander look like Fin Fang Foom. Thankfully, with a little help from Dr. Spooky and our haunted oven over here,
we're going to juice you.
This game.
You are not suggesting we start injecting ourselves with it.
No, nothing like that. Though I can see some future applications for my energy drink line.
Agreed, the kids are asleep.
Thinking we apply this stuff towards upgrading our equipment.
I like where this is going.
Just give me a little time here and I can whip up some pretty fun toys. How about we give Hydra a taste of their own gamma-powered medicine for a change? Hey, Hunter.
Tony Stark can use the coil material recovered in combat to create hero abilities. Only one of the abilities on offer can be selected, so choose wisely. So this is one of, if not the only way that we draft cards, I guess. So we analyze the coil. This is a common coil, so it's going to have probably a common card for the Hunter, Strange, or Blade, is my guess, if I'm understanding stuff.
Another magical mystery box. And to think. How does this look?
So, whip, strike, heal. So, this tells us how many we own. Let's upgrade. So I think when we get another one, I think we can combine the cards to upgrade them. So that's heroic. Let's do a basic strike here.
Hunter, when you have a minute, come meet me in the yard.
You have gained a copy of a currently equipped ability. If taken to the yard, duplicate abilities can be combined into new, more powerful versions. Talk to Blade in the yard. Do, 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 do. Here is Blade in the yard with a big sword.
Welcome to the yard. At least that's what we're calling it these days. Caretaker put me in charge of your training. Too bad she didn't listen to me yesterday. Now that we know what we're up against, I think we can all use the practice. Any questions?
I did, but they are about you.
Right when it's time to train? From all Sarah told us about you, she never described you as lazy.
Everyone loves you when you are dead. Tell me, does that mean you are half-loved?
She didn't describe you as a snarky jackass, but here we are. All right, Tony Stark Jr., ask your questions.
It said joke, not insult, so I should go.
Tell me about the Midnight Suns.
All right.
What can you tell me about the others?
Nothing. Ask them yourself.
I'm not asking you to break anyone's confidence.
Fine. Which one?
Tell me about Nico.
She's the youngest, but she acts like she's in charge.
Why let her act like that?
She's usually right, and she keeps us on track. I didn't think we'd get along, but we wouldn't be the Midnight Suns without her.
What makes you say that?
She has a lot of heart, and that's why we let her. Anybody else?
Yes, everyone. I'm going to ask you about everyone.
What about Robbie?
He's exactly what he seems. Well, sort of. He's open with people, easygoing. Sometimes that comes across as dopey, but don't get the wrong impression. He's quick to make friends, and once he does, he's your friend for life. So don't let him down, or I'll hold it against you. Anybody else?
Hey, thanks for hanging out, Aaron. Good night. Take care, and thank you. I will do my best to endeavor toward saving the world, which I imagine will take another 48 to 58 hours, if not more. See ya. Magic with a K.
What do you know about magic?
Keeps to herself.
That is it?
She's a private person. Until she lets you in, that's all
Thank
you
you.
need to know.
When does she let people in?
At her own pace. Respect that, and it'll happen faster than you think. Anybody else?
Tell me what you think of Sarah.
Well, there are few people I tolerate, even less who I like. Sarah, I respect. She sees the big picture, and we're a part of it. I'd follow her to hell if I had to. And from what I understand, we may have to.
I am surprised she commands such respect.
I'm surprised that you're surprised. You know what she's like more than any of us.
I do.
Anybody else?
Nobody else.
Sure.
Why did you join? Vampire hunting is a solitary affair.
Guess I never found the right team.
Is that all?
No, But that's all I'll share for now. You really want to know? Put in the work. If I trust you, I'll have more to say.
Do you have any thoughts on the team as a whole?
I think we're the only ones aware of the danger Lilith poses to this world. And I think we're pretty green. But enough training will get us through it. Speaking of training, we doing this, or are we gonna keep wasting daylight?
But there's dialogue options. Okay.
Finally.
Vault training. Upgrade abilities.
Let's do this.
If a hero possesses 2 copies of an
Don't
ability,
stress it too much. There's no wrong answers.
they can be combined to create a new, more powerful version. So we select Blade. Because we have 3 strikes. And we do hold E to upgrade strike. So it does 3 chain instead of 2. Still does 6 damage each hit.
Peace.
And there is Captain Marvel.
Hey there.
So, wait.
Hunter.
Okay, he moved. He's not being in 2 places at the same time.
Like the way you move out there, Hunter. Guess Dr. Strange picked the right supernatural demon hunter to resurrect. I'm Carol Danvers, but you can call me Captain Marvel. Kidding. Carol's fine. Just thought I'd throw a bone to the Avengers PR team. Not gonna lie, going a few rounds in Vampire Guy's Magic Thunderdome sounds like fun, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Well, not so much fish as that ginormous invulnerable sewer monster that swallowed the Sanctum.
Fair.
Every lock has its key.
True, if only a man-eating alien demon monster hadn't eaten ours. But that got me thinking. Strange, Caretaker, and the rest of the funky bunch can try and magic their way through that shield all they want. If my time as a pilot taught me one thing, it's that sometimes you've got to find a workaround. As in Hydra, they've got to know the way inside. Steve's always said they aren't much for talking. But then again, I'm told I can be rather persuasive when I need to be.
By punching.
Just how far are you willing to go, Captain?
Let's just say that I'm willing to unleash the power of a quantum singularity white hole on them if need be.
A quantum what?
You'll see. Find me in the war room when you're finished here. There's a few things we should discuss. Oh, and Hunter? Welcome back from the dead.
Thanks. Captain Marvel is now available for missions. Good.
Yes, hello. Yes?
Okay, you don't want to talk. That's fine. Can I talk to you now? No, you're training. Okay. You want to speak again?
Sup?
Can I ask about you?
I guess.
Is your name really Blade?
Is your name really the Hunter?
I should go. Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yes?
Oh, really? Your mom, before she became the mother of demons, looked into your cradle and decided to name her firstborn
Big Cliff.
child the Hunter.
That is how I understand it.
It takes all kinds.
So, is your name really Blade?
No,
What is it?
it's private.
Okay, Private.
Is it embarrassing?
No, the Hunter, but I only share it with friends.
You do not consider me a friend?
I just met you.
Not yet. Don't take it personally.
What brought you to the Abbey?
Caretaker. About 10 years ago, she brought me back to the real world. Gave me a place to stay until I came back to myself.
Did she ever say why?
She said she thought I'd be able to kill more vampires if I was acting on more than just instinct. But I know it was more than that. She gave me safe haven here at the Abbey. Something I'd never known. Must have read half the books in the library by the time I headed out.
Excuse me.
So when she reached out and asked me to be part of this weird little club, of course I showed up.
How did you become a Dampier?
You say that like I had a choice. I was born this way.
How is that possible?
A vampire bit my mother. Problem was, I was still in the womb. I'm lucky I was even born. Don't know if that's how it always is, but that's the way it went down for me.
How long have you been around?
I don't exactly know. I think of myself as mid-20s maybe. I lost a lot of time. Much of the last century was a blur. I have occasional memories, almost like coming up for air before being yanked back down into the depths.
What happened?
I killed a lot of vampires. I hadn't lost my mind exactly, but I got into a rhythm and never stopped. Never had a reason to stop. Not until I met Caretaker.
And then?
She gave me a reason to stop.
I should go.
Thanks, Blade.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right. It is almost 10.
Nothing is certain these days, but these readings are too distinct to ignore. The gamma signature is...
Sorry, Bruce. We lost you.
Yes,
Hang on a second. Come on, Tony. You managed to stream the Super Bowl to a Kree battleship 50 light years out. This should be easy.
Oh, we waited all year for that game, and you know the Skrulls would have spoiled it for us if they got the chance.
Well, can't you just... I don't know.
Work my magic again? See, that's the problem. This time I am working with actual magic, and let me tell you, it sucks.
Good to see you, Hunter.
Okay. Let's leave it there. For now, I can save. Great. Let's do a save. I'll have to see if I can have multiple saves going on because I'm absolutely going to play this game more often than I'm going to stream. And the game is supposed to go like 50 to 60 hours. So that would be 20 streams plus or minus. And streaming twice a week, that would still be 10 weeks without doing anything else. So I don't know that I'm going to stream the whole thing. I like the game. I'm definitely going to play more. But there's so much talking that it may not be as much of a great stream game because I'm not going to be talking as much. Like, I like these characters. I'm happy to talk about the characters. But I'll have to think about it. If y'all are excited to have me stream this more, please let me know. I'm going to... Let's go this way so that I can do this. We're going to come back to me. Kids are asleep says I'm enjoying it. Great. And I'm going to do just a quick refresher on the speculate command. Our website is having bad times right now. So I'm going to cross-post the latest episode over to Patreon in the free feed so you can listen to stuff there. I don't know that it's actually getting out through to podcast stuff because we have to put it on the website for it to then distribute. So as soon as we can get the website stuff sorted, we will. And in the meantime, we will beg your indulgence, and we'll do our best to get you the material as we have it. Because Rudy can still edit them. There's just nowhere to put them because the site is not available. So that's not his problem, or that's not his fault at all. He's doing everything fine. The website is the thing. So that's that. I am going to stop here, and I guess I can double check real quick to see if anybody else I know is streaming that we could go and raid real quick. Nobody that I actually know, just people that I follow. So I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you to The Kids Are Asleep for hanging out. Thank you to QCG Aaron for hanging out and chatting. Thank you to Arudinel for chatting and for the 11-month streak resub. I'm very grateful for that. It's fun to have you around for this as well. And thanks to anybody else, to Oddsboy, who dropped by for a little while, and anyone else who is hanging out and lurking. And thank you to folks who are watching on YouTube in the future, for me, and the past for you at some point, because that's how content going on YouTube works. It's all good. So that's that. Have a good night, good day, or a good time zone, whatever it may be. See you next time.